Hey guys, how you doing? We're going to do a rapid game. I'm down at 1502. So I'm looking like catching up with Blitz. Okay. Got 1496. Okay. Now I am going Von Hennig. Not Von Hennig. Charlick. Because I was studying it a little bit yesterday. I was just feeling like this kind of grown-up knight f6 stuff, you know, Black Knight's Tango, whatever. It was all a bit too grown-up. Sorry. You know, there's plenty of channels for the grown-up chess. And I looked at this as well in a little study. No, it's not that one. And it really, even at 1800 to 2200 on Lee chess, it wasn't really far behind, like 1-2% down, and black has fighting chances. And I figure that if you know more ideas, then it's the ideas that are going to win. You know, openings really don't win. Okay. Now with this knight coming out, there's a risk of that. I think we need to bring out on. Hang on. If he pushes though, if he pushes, I can just take. I've got two attackers, and this knight's in a pin, so I can do this. Quick development. I want to get long castles. Right, he has blocked. Let's long castle anyway because his bishop might move. This is already completely new territory for me and for my opponent. Okay, right, he's castled. Now, he's got two defenders on there. I've got two attackers. That's not enough. I want this bishop to move, ideally, so that I can get this idea in. What if I sacked my bishop? Then he's got knight takes. If I take here, queen takes, adding another defender to e4. I've got no pawn to block that pawn with, so I don't know, I'm slightly dubious. How about this move? Putting extra pressure on the knight, also putting pressure on this bishop. Seems good to me. Now he can come in here and attack my queen, but I can take that out. Right, okay. Now we're already getting kind of complicated. Or are we? If I take here, he's got to take with a pawn, or else he walks into bishop takes h2, check, discovery. So if I take here, pawn takes, because the queen's also defending this knight, yeah? What if I just take out the knight? If I take out the knight, queen can't take because pawn takes there, right? I take out the knight, g takes. And he's already got a really messed up structure. So let's see, this knight's off the board. This knight's off the board and this pawn is here. What do? Retreat the bishop. The queen's no longer on the d file, so this kind of discovery isn't. But that's just got to be good generally, hasn't it? Okay, this pawn's in a pin, but it is also attacking my bishop. I have queen e5, threatening queen takes h2, mate. The pawn might just push. Then I take queen, he takes queen, I take rook, he takes bishop. That's all right, actually. Bishop can't block. Rook can't defend, queen can't defend. Nothing can defend. Queen e5. And how does he prevent mate? This is the critical path in the problem, right? How does he prevent mate? Well, the king can't move, that's out. The rook can't defend the pawn. The pawn moving doesn't help because queen h2 is still mate. Okay, so queen's on here. He's got to push this. So queen e5, f4. Then I think we win material with we take queen, pawn takes queen, we take rook. I think pawn will take the bishop. Is it worth it? or do we have a better attack? If that and f4, they've got two pieces under attack, is it better just to pull the bishop back and then do this? But that then gives white a tempo with which to rearrange his defences. If I pull back, the pawn is still pinned. The bishop is still defended by the knight. I pull back, what's he got? He can't push the pawn. He can't get the king anywhere safer, because ain't nowhere safer. What's he got? He can't move this pawn at all, it's illegal. This pawn hangs the queen. So let's see again. And this is one of those positions, I'm for like 5 minutes down on the clock, but it's worth it, right? He's going to have to push that pawn. What if I just swing my queen here? His queen's hanging, and I'm still threatening mate. Okay, I'm doing it. That's good enough for me, with 11 minutes on the clock. He's going to figure this out, and he's going to figure out that f4 is forced. But let's look at it. f4, queen h5. This queen is hanging, and I have a checkmate. No, I don't have a checkmate threat. I don't have a checkmate threat because the bishop's blocking. So we're back to two options, right? This, we trade, takes, I get rook, he gets probably bishop, almost certainly bishop. He'd be a fool to take the knight and leave this bishop eyeing up there. We will not have the bishop pair, but we will be up an exchange. It'll be... And then a king will take here, right? So here, I take queen, he takes queen, we're equal. I take rook. He'll take one of the bishops. But then my other bishop will be saved. Or, but actually, this is a fork. Right, so, okay, there. I take, white takes. I take rook. White takes this bishop, and now I can't save both of these. So who wins out of that transaction? I take queen, he takes queen, we're equal. I take rook, he takes bishop. I'm up in exchange, but I'm going to lose one of these. That is the fact of the matter. So I've got this. Unless there's a better alternative here. I take the queen, he takes the queen. I take the bishop. He has a choice of... But again, he takes the bishop. And he's still got the fork on. So I'm thinking I miscalculated that. Because I got as far as, oh look, I win an exchange. But then you've got to look at the continuity and the options of move order. So I'm liking this. I'm now expecting f3. But I could just take f3. Okay, I think this... I lose material the other way. Oh no, I can't take f3 because the rook defends. Okay. Pretty much forced. And he's got a bit of a cluster of pawns there. I've got bishop h3 hitting the rook. I think then we'll have rook f2. And I'm still a pawn down actually at this point. My hunch is I have to retreat the bishop, probably back to d7. This rook here, I'd love to be able to get my other bishop onto this square. So he's just scissor the rook. Or shear the rook, let's say. Also, this is a threat. Right, now, this is annoying now, and I feel like I've messed up. feel like I've messed up here. Actually, no, this with tempo hitting the rook, then yeah. So I think the bishop retreat walks into the fork. Okay, this does not walk into the fork. Now I have bishop e7, do I not? Or is there gainful employment for the knight? I don't think there is. I think bishop e7 is the move. I'm going to attack that knight. I think this looks handy. I might like move the knight back here. This then wins an exchange. And here, guys, this is what you're seeing is the limit of calculation at 1500. This is, when a 1500 gives up calculating and goes, that's good enough for me. This king is certainly in a precarious situation, but he's got a lot of material here around. Okay, well that walks into this idea. Now I've had that before in the Steinitz Scotch. So I think what we're going to do is ignore that and threaten this. I'm 2 pawns down now. Always got to watch out for this. I've had this before. That and that can be mate in this instance. He could even put bishop here. And if I take queen takes his mate. Well, that's okay. Might play c6. Wow. Wow. And this is what you get for using 10 seconds per move. Like, I've made mistakes using many more seconds per move. Okay. And again, here we stop. I can't win the rook. But I have queen g6 check. Rook can't block because I checkmate him. So that will do. Because I know now it's giving me many, many options here. Now here, we still run into the bishop there. The rook is stopping mate here. Okay, so I think he screwed up with this. Maybe. This is just work though. Now, no, make checkmate. Gotta think again now. How annoying. That bishop takes. This, I get mated, which vexes me. c6 hampers my queen a little bit. But what is the risk? Let's actually evaluate the risk. He comes in here. I don't have to do anything. Knight here. Bishop takes. Queen takes. Pawn takes. I'm up slightly in material. I could just play queen here though. Bishop comes in, I ignore it. I place my knight here. I'd love to do that though. Knight there. I think it's knight b6. I could do knight here with the idea of knight c6 to shoo the bishop away. Here if he takes, I just take, and I think we live to fight another day. Or is that better? This could trade off a bunch of stuff, leaving me with ugly pawns, but more material. Well, I'm up. I've got an extra knight, and that could be very fruitful, even if I've got a kind of a king stuck behind doubled isolated pawns. Or do I prefer this? Or do I just play queen here and avoid this idea? Let's play queen here, with further ideas of knight here. Oh, actually, that also makes this on. Bishop c5 with a fork on queen, rook, and bishop. So, if I play this here, he's going to have to take with the bishop. And then I'll take with queen or knight, and I think we're okay. I'll probably pull this bishop back to a safe square where it's protected. Yeah, it's not the safest square in the world, though, is it? So there's another argument in favour of moving the knight to give my bishop d7, but I'm now liking this, and I'm going to play it quickly because I'm on 6 minutes. He's on 14:38. Okay, I'm still going to be up a knight for a couple of pawns. So this puts two attackers on there and opens up the rook. And now I have bishop back here. Yep, bishop back here is nice now. I might even get to double up my rooks. This just drops the bishop. And he's running out of bits to play with, isn't he? Okay, you reinforce the bishop. I can just hit the bishop. Haven't you just trapped it, actually? I think you've just trapped your own bishop, mate. Oh no, it's got this counterattack. I come back here. Oh! Different. He's counterattacked the knight instead. Okay, I take the bishop, you take the knight. I take the bishop, you have to take the knight. I've got a pawn on here, which I'm going to lose. So I think we just get the knight the hell out of there, really. I think it's the idea. Can't go there, can't go there. This is possible. Bishop takes, queen takes. We fight on. This is also fine, I think. Bishop's still on prison and still trapped. So I could even go here. Here. 5 minutes. I've just hung my queen. Oh my good giddy aunt. Oh my lord. Resign. Oh my god. Well, that was Tactics City. Oh, flipping hell. Look at that. And there was just a blunder. That was inaccurate. There. And what should I do? Say knight takes a4. Oh, knight takes a4, and then if queen takes queen, I win it back. And he can't take because I have this. Oh my god. I just, that was just stupid. I just didn't see the fact that my queen was undefended on there. But good play by my opponent. So lots of mistakes in the middle game. This was a big error from him. Yeah, he just blundered a piece. But actually, from that point, he played pretty well. This is inaccurate, but oh my lord! Right, let's do another one. Come on, I'm down to 14.94. I'm not having this. Not having this. We've got 15.56 now. And I'm going to go, I will go for the G3 Vienna. Okay. Expecting this or knight out. This is from Armenia. Okay, this is challenging. You have to take the pawn. I think now I just fianchetto. If he takes, I take back with B. And we've got one of our objectives achieved. We do have 3 pawn islands, but it ain't the end of the world. And I think rook B1 is a move here from my recent studies. And now I'm also thinking that it might be all about a D4 break rather than an F4 break. Black has no development at all. I'm 2 moves from castling. So is he, to be fair. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that. Okay, now I'm thinking develop knight. If he pushes, how do I develop my knight here? Is this an idea? That was a horrible game, that was. Gosh. This is a thought. The bishop can just drop back. But then it does look at F8, preventing castles. Sinking knight here, and if he pushes, what do I do? Could even centralize with the idea of that. Maybe take some passant. A hunch is knight f3 is better, but I can't. I don't know what to do if he pushes on. Could put my knight there, defended by my bishop. I do want a castle. I want a castle soon. Bishop b2, d4, takes, take. No, it doesn't work. But even, you see, even from e2, my knight has no prospects. So I'm going to play knight h3. Seems the most flexible. This, here, my knight might come back to e4 that way. Can't go straight there. This pawn is in a pin right now, but king h2 might be played. This is a potential threat. Then I'll probably head back round to e4. Oh, he's taken it out. That's interesting. So now you see I've got this little king fortress here. And I have a light square bishop to plug that hole with and defend these entry squares. Whereas my opponent does not have a light square bishop with which to try and penetrate the light squares. And I'm not going to wipe out that knight. I don't think that's worth giving up this bishop for. It's a bishopy board. Right, no blockages at all, plenty of movement available, and that also means plenty of long lines around, right? And I have 2 bishops, whereas my opponent does not. I might play king h1, just maybe to give myself even options of pushing f4 anyway. This and this is now on, because it actually pins the bishop on the rook. What's wrong with you, Fleabag? Huh. Queen there, what is the meaning of this? This, and I can't do that pin. bishop takes. So I'm thinking now d3. d4 is definitely out because everyone's looking at that. So I think thinking d3. Oh, I think Eto seems too slow. I'm pushing d3. What a silly mistake. But that's really been a big feature of my play. And look, the sun. Last week or so, well, I've been kind of tired. It's like the skill is still there, and then I blunder. That was an interesting move, that knight thing. That might be worth putting in a study. Arman Haritunian. Okay, so he's played this, defending this undefended pawn. I don't see any real reason to do this. Oh, actually, f takes. I open up the f file. I still have a light squared bishop. I mean, this is a thought, but that's a bit random, isn't it? With pawns on here. But bishop here. Then I lose the bishop pair. Still don't have that. That's also a thought. Queen out. Prompt g6. f5, do I care? Good question. Maybe I need to activate my queen. Something like this. Then bishop here. What about queen here now? Is that dumb? Don't know. Bishop here now would prompt... f5 doesn't work because bishop takes f5. Right, now defended by my queen. So it's just switching the move order, isn't it? Bishop here, then if there's no f5, it has to be g6. And if g6... I retreat my queen, and my bishop comes in, pushing this rook away. My queen comes here, then threatening to come in there, but that's a trade, so... This, anyway. Is he threatening that? Could throw in this first. If takes, rook comes to life. Oh, this, and then isn't f5 now possible? Yes. What about this? Just f6 then, yeah. Queen's the only defender of that. Oh, rook e1. Or this. And I'd love to do that if this pawn was out of the way. So should I just harass the pawn? What? Just harass the pawn. I know I've taken away a defender of f2. If he pushes, then I've shut out his bishop, and his bishop becomes way, 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 way worse. I'm simply threatening now to take the pawn. So what you going to do? Going to do that, threatening mate now. But now do I have this though? Well, it's not mate. I go in the corner. I should really develop my bishop. I'm thinking bishop e3. Face off. Takes, looks good. Rook f1. He can't push. Again, he can't push the pawn. Right, he blunders the bishop anyway if he does that. But we know that 1500's blunder. Excuse me. Okay, now, options. Capturing towards the centre looks jolly good. Opening up the F file where the queen is. Or we have to consider rook lift, rook F3. But isn't that the same deal? I mean, is my rook any better there than it is on F1 with no pawn here? No. So this is our idea now. And I think our bishop now has a lovely spot on E4. Now I know I have no dark square bishop. This is something we're going to have to live with. This knight could come in and play quite a strong defensive role. I'm simply blocking access. Okay, I'm looking at that. Let's just goldfish quickly. What's defended, what's not. The queen is the only defender of this. Sometimes I'll highlight those in orange. King obviously defends everything at home. And the queen defends the knight. So the queen's kind of busy being the only defender of that and the only defender of that. This takes is quite good. Leaves me with this pawn structure. Huh. After rook f1, this pawn's in the way of the queen going that away. I mean, she does have these squares. She doesn't have any of these squares. And so she has to go sideways. Doesn't have that one because of my bishop. And in fact, also because this pawn's under attack, if I hit the queen has to go to one of these squares, I believe. And that may give us options of our own. We've got maybe bishop h3 attacking this square. I think we're doing all right. I'm melting. Also notice that the queen has to defend the knight as well, although it isn't under attack, and the only piece that can really attack it is my own queen. But I'm kind of happy, kind of alright here. 11-11 for my opponent. I'm on 11-29. And there we have it. Can I just play rook f1 anyway? I play rook f1. You take my queen, your pawns are busted. I take your queen. I just stick my queen here. Menacingly. This knight here though, flushing me out. Then I think I'd have to come back to h3, which I don't like really very much. So I could just retreat these queenies, stick her back on e2. Yeah, just retreat her. And it's also kind of saying to my opponent, I've got the upper hand here, dude. I'm like, I don't have to rush. We're fine. If the best move is a retreating move, you play the damn best move. There's no pride in this, man. Still liking rook f1. Could even jam a rook in there, double up. Whoa. Then the queen starts sniffing around again, coming in here and... Or just triple up, man. Boom. Yeah, obviously, well, the queen's... where's she going to go? Arman. Harutunian. So all the names in Armenia end in an or ian. I think, yeah, Bishop was looking at that. That's why he moved his rook there. I mean, rook ab1 is a little thought, but he just does that, doesn't he? Okay, I'm slightly up on the clock here. He moves his rook. E4 looks interesting, but it takes away the square of that. It's like, what is? I'm gonna chuck in rook f1 because I can't see any downside to that move. Especially also now he's moved his rook away from this square. The rook's no longer defending f7. So now, if I stick at a queen on f2, right? Queen's got to move out of the way. Now I stick at a queen on f2, and suddenly I'm threatening to capture with check. So what you going to do? Or I stick my queen here with the option of maybe doubling up the rooks behind her. I don't know. Play queen f2, just for the fact that it doesn't block my bishop's view of the board. My bishop is enjoying its view of the board. It likes it very much. Turning my attention to young Harry Carey, the suicide pawn. Would not be surprised. There we go. I was not surprised. Look, did you see any surprise across my face? No. Now then, push. C4, knight takes there as possible. Let's chuck in rook. Shall we? I don't think chucking in moves is the h4, h5. h4 is not a mistake that I can see, right? It looks as though he's built up a nice little structure, but maybe I can just fiddle with his structure. Maybe my bishop could come to h3. Okay. Right, there's nothing other than to calc now. Lots of possibilities here, and that isn't one of them. I want to make my light squared bishop better. This and that fails. This pushes. I think I've got to force something to give. And these pawns, although they're kind of strong in some, senses, but weak in others, weak in the fact that the king is no longer in contact with them and there's space behind. Right, if I take... Are you taking with a rook? Do I do this? Take, pawn takes. That can't be good. I might stick my queen here as well, just eyeing up h5. Queen here. Pushing. And then maybe just get my king. I don't know. He's not in immediate peril. Oh. Cock. Again, see, I just slipped up, didn't I? Discovered attack. And I've took away the bishop's defense of that. However, on the other hand, this pawn could be a liability. This pawn is maybe a liability. Okay, I just have to move the queen. I don't think it makes a huge difference where she goes. She might dive in here. He may exchange rooks, which is a bit of a no-brainer. If he takes here, pawn takes is okay. So it's looking like it's not a 1500 day today, and that's fine. Everyone's performance is on a bell curve. The middle of the bell curve is controlled by your talent, ability, knowledge of the game, and where on that bell curve you are depends on your performance on the day and your opponent's performance on the day. It feels like maybe I'm sub 1500 in terms of performance right now, which is okay, I am also threatening just to take this pawn. Okay. I don't want to take the rook. I'm just going to recapture here. So I'm a pawn down. Okay, both of our kings actually, in fact, we've got symmetrical pawn structures here. The big imbalances are, it's a bishop for a knight. I've got slightly more forward pawns, just left of centre, and I'm a pawn down. Which pawn is it? Well, it's kind of this one. This rook can't get into the game either, by the way, which is... Also, this pawn hangs. This pawn does not hang, it's defended by the queen. But if queen goes there, then this pawn hangs, which is more important. Well, it's not the A pawn. This, I just don't know. So if the queen takes that, then I have crisscross. Mate. Might be a temptation. This, you see, and this is the problem with advancing your pawns in front of your king, he says. Yeah. So if anyone can sneak behind your lines, and then that is just checkmate. A queen controls all these squares, bishop controls these, that's it. Oh, it's got rook blocks. And that just drops the rook. So queen h6, looking very nice. But no, I feel like I've lost my way somewhat with these recent adjustments. What if he just pushes his pawn forward? I just take. You know, to try and, he's down to 7 minutes now, so I'm going to try and use the clock. Not as my only hope, because that would be a fool's hope. And there's an increment, remember, so it still comes down to who has the stronger position. Okay, he's taken the pawn. This is the move I want to play. Can I force it? I'd love to do that, but I can't. How about this, right? Annoy the knight. Oh, that's not good. No, 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 no. That's a king rook fork. Okay, we're not having any of that funny business. Okay, there's no check by the queen. And we have a potential serious attack here. Also, the queen has to defend this, of course. But no, it's looking a little bit desperate, guys. Has to be said. So something like this, right? Oh, knight goes there. I grab this. Queen takes. Check. Then the queen is looking at f7. Rook blocks. I take with check. King can't take as it be, and that would lose the queen. So, you know, something like desperate like this, right? Take this, threatening mate here. That's the point. He could just take there. Hang on. Here, knight takes that. He takes here, I checkmate him, right? So that doesn't work. So this is a plan. It's what we'd like to call a plan. It's a crazy plan, but it just might work. I'm 2 pawns down. I've got to... A bit of David Tennant now. I've got to... He's stopping my rook from going there, the son of a gun. I take rook, rook takes rook. Did he discern my plan? I'd be very surprised if he did. So we're just going to chuck that, I think. Threatens a knight, which can't go there. If he goes here, I go back here again and threaten this idea. Oh, okay, well, I still want to keep my bishop there for sure. Five minutes 40. Queen here, rook here. Possible. Hits queen. And actually the queen can't move to any square to defend g6 either. Queen here. Knight can't attack her. Queen here, rook here. Okay, let's just revisit this idea. I'm liking this. I'm going to go for it. This could be devastating. Queen also defends this, by the way. I've just noticed that. That was stupid, wasn't it? Almost. God, honestly, guys, a number of times this happens where I go, ooh, I nearly blundered. I nearly blunder, even more than I actually blunder. Believe it or not. Okay. This then, I don't believe there's any checks from the queen. Okay, this is my thing. Also, I'm threatening this. I'm threatening this. There's... The only check is this, but that loses the knight. Which equalises, actually. He'd be 3 pawns up with a very dangerous passed pawn, must be said. And ain't no choice, I don't think, if queen takes on g3. That's it, I have to do it. But I think that's what's probably going to happen, because I think my threats are too great. This, yeah, there we go. Now, he's currently, oh, he's 4 pawns up. But I think rook takes g6 is the move here. But let's also just consider what happens if bishop e6 check. He's going to come here, isn't he? I know, Cooper. There's a dog waiting at the door going, what's going on? Why can't I get in? Right, his rook wants to come here. So we're going to say, okay, king moves, I take knight, I threaten the pawn. I've got to take the knight. I've got to take the knight. There's nothing for it, okay? He is 3 pawns up. He's about to play this. Why didn't... What? What the hey? No, you put your rook behind your passed pawn, numbskull. Is that a game-losing move? That might be... I haven't even got any tea to calm my nerves. What on earth was that about? And you can't even put your rook there. Okay. Or bishop here, here. This feels flexible. He's under 5 minutes and he's now starting to make his moves more quickly. That, I think, was a game-losing blunder potentially. It was. This is undefended. Okay, and this is the way we start to think now. A can handle B. Because the moment B steps on there, he's toast. I do believe... Okay, that's a chickadee-doo-dah. Now, is it even worth... No, then we end up with a completely... That's completely like drawing, isn't it? We end up with a a completely symmetrical pawn structure at the end. Ain't no sunshine in that idea. Might be worth trying to take out this pawn, actually. Let's have a think. Try not to make a silly move. There, how does he defend? He's got king here. Then I've got rook there, king there. This promotion square is light, this promotion square is dark, which makes Charlie slightly more dangerous than Barry the b-pawn. I think rook here. What's he going to do? Is he going to move his king away from the centre, away from the action? I don't know. But then I might check his ass. Ooh. Here. This has to be played, yes? Now. Aha. Check. He attacks my bishop. I move my bishop. He moves his rook over, but then loses this pawn. This is not only a skewer here, but I'm also forking both pawns. In fact, whatever he does now, I can just nab that one with the bish, can't I? Huh? Or do I just move my king over and then grab it with the rook? It's a damn good question. Leaving my bishop in the middle of the board does remove some squares away from his king. But stopping Charlie is what's most important here. Here, here. Then my bishop might have the option of going there, depends. Here. How can my bishop help with the arrest of Charlie? What if I do this? The rook can't defend both of these pawns. This pawn may prove critical. May. No, something's just telling me king g2. So king, there's quite a few places it can't go. In fact, it's only got one available square here. So, we might be in a position where I end up trying to sack my bishop for one pawn. Right now I'm 2 pawns down, but with an extra bishop. I'm about to be 1 pawn down with an extra bishop. Okay, now this. He shall push, but that doesn't help. Harry, h5 pawn right now is not the issue. Okay, so I could grab it now. I also have a check here, right? But then the king comes towards. I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to grab the pawn. If he pushes this, I take it. Rook takes. That's okay. I come here. I've got 2 eyes on there. Another idea is also to counter push with my own h-pawn. Okay, he's got 1 extra pawn, but there is a threat. I can't play that either, because he takes with check, and that's just game over. That is just too slow. Okay, so he's counting on getting his king to this square. If I move my rook over to prevent that, he just pushes. If I start checking him, He's going to come in here anyway. Then I've got to check there. Come on. Is there a solution here? I can't let that pawn promote. I can't see anything that doesn't involve king harassment. Because here I do have another check. Okay, he's gone there. Now I'll try and push him in front of his own pawn. And then maybe wriggle the bishop over. I'd love to get my h pawn to h5, give my bishop an anchor square. His king is in some risk, but this is the issue. His king can wriggle out to there, allowing the pawn past. Should the pawn come here? What if I played like this, and he puts his here and then this? Then his king goes to d2. Well, you can go that way. I'm not going that way. Do I just harass him more? Here, he's got 2 squares. Then I think I'm out of checks, and he could snatch my a pawn. I think it might have to be this. Pushes, but then I can't get my bishop onto this diagonal because of that. Which is very frustrating. See, like I was saying, if I could have given up my bishop for that pawn, I might be in luck here. Now, if I give up my rook, I'm screwed, aren't I? So let's say I move my bishop, all right? He's going to put his king to one side. There's nothing I can do. I think it's lost, actually. I think this is a lost position now. If I trade my rook... Okay, I'm just going to try this. I can't see anything else. And like we said, it was the c-pawn. And the reason is because the promotion square is dark squared, and I don't have a dark squared bishop. I can't see any defense if I do that. Okay, if I give up the rook, king takes, I block here. I don't think there's any other option right now. There's no way of I mean, I could... If I do this, he goes there, I take, king's out the way, right? Then my bishop pawn combo are blocking these. Could he sack his... The bishop's on here. Let's just try. He's going to promote. I'll pre-move rook takes c1. See, this just gives up both rook and bishop, so I've got to take the queen. There's no question about it. Now, I have an edge pawn. His pawn could come here. That is the threat. And when he does, I'll have to take it. could come here, put the rook behind it, and then push it on. And in the meanwhile, I'm going to try and push my h-pawn up the board. But again, it's showing up my endgame weak. Now, obviously we haven't analysed, so I don't know whether there was a potential to rescue this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I just move out the way. Pushes, pawn takes, pawn pushes. In the meantime, can Harry get up the board? But Harry's only 4 moves, but I'm not going to do it just with pawn moves, because at some point the rook's going to step in. So I'm going to have to defend the pawn with my king, moving up alongside. So now it's like taking your shoes and socks off time to count the moves, but ever so slightly up on the clock. He's got to use this pawn. There's no other option. Unless he thinks about trading the rook for the king takes, and then these pawns dance through. But as soon as that rook's off the board, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or 1, 2, 3, 4. Ahat, shtaim, shalosh. What's 4 in Hebrew? Can't remember. Merabah. Can't remember. Okay. Right, he's got a plan. Okay, I have to advance my king. Now, king, he can't step on those cracks in the pavement. If I advance my pawn, he has to advance his rook. Problem is that the blocking square for the rook is also dark, which vexes me. Is the endgame my weakest point? My hunch is it is. Now the king can't come here, which is fine. King comes here, is in check, would be illegal. So a king can't actually approach. So I don't know what you're doing moving your king. The only question is my endgame better or worse than Arman's endgame? Arman with 1 minute 40 on the clock. Now he might have a perpetual if he wants it, but actually no, after king here, I can block with my bish. I think he's wasted far too much time with these king moves. He's made 5 in a row. I have this. And then what you gonna do? I feel my heart rate quicken. My hunch is he had a plan, and my hunch is it was the wrong plan. His king can't really approach. Okay, right now, I push here. And what have you got? All you can do is sack your rook for the pawn. No, you can't even. Ha! Oh, he's got this. Then I simply move my king, and I've got maybe a threat of skewering the king and the rook. Yeah. Can I put my king in the corner, or do I have to go here? If I go here, he goes here. I then skewer the king and defend the pawn. Ha! I'm starting to eat my own clothing now. Right, now I come here, and there's no check from the rook. Question is, bishop and pawn against 2 pawns. Can it be won? The answer is, well, we just don't know. My bishop's going to... Ooh! My bishop's going to come back here. No question. Defending everything, okay? But first... Hang on. This is 2 moves, right? I've still got 2 moves. Or do I just defend the pawn and prevent this? That's only 1 move. I like that. Then I'm going to come in, oops, leaping like a horse, apparently. Now this just isn't playable, and the king can't touch the pawn. And even if the king is right next to it, ooh, I don't know. Do I need to do that? Well, I still don't have to decide yet, so I can still move my king. And by the way, it doesn't matter if you zigzag your king, because it's no quicker or slower. Okay, if I move in and he pushes, we could end up drawing. Okay, now it's time to slap this in, because this. My hunch is it's drawn, which would be a result, I think, for me. Because I think he had a winning position, and I think he blew it. And I think I did all right. Let's say I move my bishop away. He can't push because I just take. With the pawn, even. Now king and bishop against king is a draw because you can't checkmate that way. If I go here, the king can come in and chase me. I honestly don't know. I think it's drawn either way. If he takes this pawn, it's a draw. If I go here and he pushes, I take and he takes the pawn. If I go here and he pushes, he's going to get the pawn. I think a draw is the best we can hope for. He pushes here. See, the moment my pawn goes off the board, we're done for. If I take, he takes, I take, draw. If I move away, he pushes, everyone dies. Draw. Well, well, well. Place your bets. I thought that was quite accurate. I would be happy to see accuracy in the 70s. 60s would disappoint. I had a win. Two blunders from him, none from me. 79.8, and guess the ELO. Both of us 1650. Well done, opponent. But forget all those other details. What the hell happened here? Okay. So yeah, he blunders. No. And I had a win. Right, okay, hang on. Bishop moves away. The only moves he has is move the king or... Oh, you're joking. That was it. I did have a win. I had a win, guys. Let's say this. No. This. King b2, I win this pawn. Takes. Takes. Oh, Hunty. Oh, my word. No, I was... Look, I got excited about the prospect of a draw. That was all I had to do. If he takes, I just take. And now the king has to move away. I'm going to win this pawn. Ah, curses. Curses. Right, well that's going in my in-game studies. Absolutely in my in-game studies. So I'll just quickly show you what I do here, right? So just before my opponent's last move, I grab the fen. And I've got all my Woody studies, which you get as part of Chess Bootcamp Live. So it is endgame's medium, let's say. Okay. Now I'm going to add the date, which I think is the 10th. And we were white. Oh man, how many of you spotted that? Go on. Oh no. Oh no. White to win. White to play and win. Okay, so here, let's say takes, right? King has to move away, we take, and we win. Okay, so what happens is now we've got the study here, okay? So if I'll open up a new, so this is checkmate endgame's medium 1, okay? The one we just added, so now that I'm doing them by date, the one we just added is this, okay? Okay, and we win, yeah? And then if you make the wrong move, like this, it says wrong, okay? So that's it, and you can then drill these very, very quickly, very, very easily. So there's 13 checkmate endgame medium ones. I've got loads of checkmate ones. So anyway, yeah, oh man, you and your endgames, you absolute ape. But anyway, living and learning. Hopefully one day, by the time I'm about 95, I might be able to spot things like that. But, you know, we can only hope. All right, thanks for watching. See you later.